Just for you guys, the Overdogs are next. The Overdogs experienced the biggest star swap of the league. Marsha Brown, their powerhouse right fielder, moved over to headline the new Sandcats team. Also departing are Rob Glover to the Jacks and Tarek Smith to the Hot Corners. Normally, losing a player of Brown's caliber would signal a big step back for a franchise, but in the Overdogs case, they scored the prize of the incoming players. Sakta Song stepped right in to fill Brown's role and then some. They also managed to upgrade their rotation with Werner Bergenberg. They gave back just a bit in filling their utility infield role with the young Dig Forto. Let's check out the OD's players. Sakta Song is new, and already this is his team. With his power versus righties active, which is facing 69% of pitchers, he has 90s attributes in all three offensive categories. The only knock against him is that he plays first base, which isn't one of the hardest positions on the diamond, but he holds it down. Oh, and you have to pay him. Rhonda Horn is another star of this studded lineup. She has great power versus any pitcher and is an offensive juggernaut. She's not amazing on defense, though. Guy Gold is a very good contact-focused hitter with fairly weak defense in left. Kasha Emin, excellent offensive tools, decent glove, but at short her arm is a touch low. Anton Goodwood's already solid skills are buffed with ducks on the pond. As a catcher, you'd prefer to see more from him defensively. Elroy Action is a low-power, contact and speed-focused guy, atrocious defense. Robin Yu, solid bat and buffed versus righties, best glove on the team, but he's in the corner outfield, so you might worry more about his weak arm. Samuel Perez is your second catcher, a decent power hitter, but he may get run on a lot behind the dish. Yvette Victorino, weakest hitter on the team, but not horrible. Probably the most solid defender of your starters, other than Sakta. Casper Stern is your fourth outfielder. Dick Berger is a wild player, with crazy power, but no back control. Rafael Gonzalo was the starting first baseman, now he's depth. And Dig is basically a pitcher with the bat, but he can hold down any spot in the infield well. Now for the pitching staff. Larry LaJoy is mainly a junk baller with decent accuracy. Chasey Kim follows him up with very high velo, a bit less aiming. Bergenberg locates his mid-tier stuff fairly well. Kerry Wayward is a weak fourth starter with very low velocity. Braun Thunderchump is easily the best pitcher on the staff, pretty good stuff, and lefties are nerfed against him. David Diggler is the next best pen option, good velo, but he can be erratic. Rocket Ramon, similar to Diggler, a bit lower velo. Doug Nerdward is another step down in velo, and with 2 strikes, it gets worse. He's your mop-up. Time for lineup strategy. This lineup is a tricky one to craft because you have an RBI man who isn't one of your absolute best hitters, but still super solid, so the question becomes, do you give him your prime spot for driving and runs, or would you rather trust Rhonda Horn in that role and push him back a slot? I've given it thought, and I'm coming down on the side of Goodwood at cleanup. This not only maximizes his potential to come to bat with those juicy RBI man buffs active, but it allows us to maximize plate appearances for our top hitters by bringing them up to the first 2 lineup positions. From there, it becomes a question of Kasha or Guy 3-hole. I'll take Kasha's speed here and leave Guy's consistent contact bat to back up Anton. The last 3 hitters are in descending order. Robin, Elroy, Yvette, then the pitcher. If you have the DH, I'm recommending Samuel Perez for that role. If Perez is needed at catcher, then slide in Gonzalo. Typically, you want to maximize your better catcher's game time by resting him only every 5th game, but with the Overdogs and some other teams too, the strategy goes deeper. Perez is easier to steal on, so if he's about to line up against a speed team, but there's a slower one ahead of them on the schedule, you can push up his start. Same thing if you have interleague play coming up, and you'll want him for the DH slot. Pitching-wise, you're working with a fairly consistently mid-tier rotation with a bit of drop-off at the end. Thunderchump is your go-to out of the pen anytime, but especially versus lefties. The rest of the guys are all wild, so be careful to use Braun at the right time. Notably for the Overdogs, despite paying Song $16 million, they have the largest cap at the start of franchise. They save a lot through their humble pitching staff and not paying for defense. Their goal is to outscore the competition, and they have the offense to do it. Thanks to all who've subbed, the channel is now a YouTube partner. Let's keep it growing. The record likes for a quick look vid is 32. Can we beat that? Let's hear your Overdog thoughts in the comments and which team you'd like to see next. Thanks for the support.